Hi everyone, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com, and I am back to present session 2 of Design a Bag with Andrea, our Sewspire Summer Sewing Series. So last week I opened up a poll for our community to vote on 5 colorways, mood boards, fabric selections, basically. And I'm really thrilled with the winning choice. It was colorway B, which has hues of blue, some awesome navy wax canvas in there, and then these beautiful art gallery cotton fabrics that are reminiscent of a mountain. So I think that was an excellent choice because it is not necessarily masculine or feminine, and it can leave the door wide open for our design possibilities. So nice work, and I'm especially thrilled because it's blue and that's my favorite color. So today where we find ourselves is at the intersection of function and style. And so in this case, we let the fabric set the mood for this mystery bag that we are designing together over the next few weeks. And so again, that's blues and mountains and kind of a gender neutral wanderlust feel is how I interpret it. I'd love to know what your interpretation is of this fabric collection. Feel free to drop that in the comments. That would be amazing. And so what we want to focus on today is the shape of this bag that we're going to design, because the shape is going to influence the function for sure, and then secondary, the style of this piece. And then I also want us to vote on the size, but only one aspect of the size. Right now we're just going to focus specifically on the measurement of the base of this piece, because there may be features of this that will lend itself better to the T method versus the notched corner method of construction, or who knows, we might end up going with the birthing method in this case. So today's focus, the 2 polls will be on the shape, which I'm going to keep super simple for you. And we can modify this, right? Like nothing is hard and fast because this is our bag and we're the designers. So there are going to be 5 options in the poll for the shape: rectangle, square, circle, triangle, and oval. All right. And that's just the shape that you choose is just going to inspire the design, right? Like it's not going to be a true rectangle. But if you were to choose a rectangle, say, we might end up with a bag that has an interesting shape about it, like my all aboard bag, which I taught in a recent session of my masterclass AMC. So just think of the shape in very, very broad terms, okay? And the oval, when you consider the oval, which I don't know that I've ever really designed a bag that the oval was the inspiration, but think of like perhaps rounded corners, right? Or softer features with the bag. But when you're considering the shape that you would like this bag to take, also take into consideration the mood that we've already set with our fabric selection. And then the second poll, of course, is the width of the base. So I'm going to break that down into small, medium, large, and extra large. So you'll have 4 options. Small would be a base that's less than 8 inches. Medium would be a base that's between 8 and 12 inches. Large would be a base that's between 12 and 18. And extra large would be a base that's between 18 and 24 inches. And I have some sample bags here to show you so you can get a better feel of this whole shape size thing here. So again, this is the all aboard bag, and the base on this bag is 7 inches. So I would consider this to be a small bag, except next week we're going to be voting on the height and the depth. So you see the bag still has the potential to change size categories, but again, you're just focusing on the base measurement in this case. So that would be what I would consider a small base. This beautiful bag was also one of the projects for a master class that I taught. And if you are interested in making either one of these bags, if you join the Sewspire Patreon page, you can watch the replays of those AMC sessions. So the base of this bag is 13 inches. So this would technically fall in the large category, but it is not that tall, right? So again, in my mind, once we consider the height of the bag, that's when we'll really attach a size label to it. But this gives you an idea of what a larger base would look like at 13 inches. And then here, this is called the Mae Messenger bag. There is a full tutorial for this. I really love this bag. I converted this to a camera bag for myself, and it is wonderful. And the base on this bag is 8 inches. So again, this would still be fitting in the small category, but it is taller than it is across the base. So that lends itself to be more of a medium-sized bag in my mind. But again, that base fits in the small category. There is also a step-by-step tutorial for this waxed canvas messenger bag, which I really have used a lot. I'm thrilled that we're going to get to work with the wax canvas for this bag design. It's such a fabulous, durable fabric that has so many unique properties to it. So I will link to all of the bags that I'm highlighting for you in this video in case you want to make one for yourself or just check out the tutorial. So this base on this particular messenger bag, which is very roomy, is 14 inches. So this is bumping us up into the large category, which in this case, the height is more in proportion with the base. It's 13 inches tall. So I think this is definitely a larger bag. And so that gives you some perspective there. And then this for sure would be a large bag. This is the Route 66 tote. I have a full step-by-step tutorial for this as well right here on YouTube. And the base of this is 16 inches. So we're still in the large category with this. And the height is very proportionate to that at 15 inches. So this has more of the square shape to it. And that is such an awesome bag. And it's a lot of fun to make as well. This gives you a good idea of how the rectangle can inspire the design. So like a duffel, right? So if you chose the rectangle as the shape and then extra large as the size, we could make a really awesome duffel bag. But the base on this particular bag is 11 inches. So that would put us in at a medium size. But the height is significantly less, so I would consider it ultimately to be a small bag, but you're getting the gist of the measurements, right? So I just don't want anyone to think if you choose an 8-inch base that we're going to end up with a tiny bag, because we still have to determine the height. So I have a couple more here to show you. This definitely would have been inspired by a rectangle, and it is an awesome backpack. I have a full step-by-step tutorial for you for this as well. And the base on this particular bag is 12 inches, so that would fall at the top of medium, but the height is 14 inches, so I would definitely consider it to be a larger bag. And it could even be even bigger if I increase the depth on it. but that gives you an idea of how a rectangle may inspire our design. And then likewise, here's another awesome messenger bag here, and this bag is called My Beautiful Life, and it's kind of bittersweet because this was the last project. This is like 3-part video series, and it's right as COVID was hitting. I was talking to you all about making sure you had enough food and stuff, and we've just been through so much and come so far since then. So this is an absolutely gorgeous functional bag that's really fun to make. And I feel like it may have been a collaboration too amongst us all because it span out over so much time. But I'll link to that if you're interested in making something similar. And the base on this particular one is 12 inches. So that would put it at the top of the medium. And I feel like that's an accurate sizing on this because it is a little shorter. It's only 11 inches tall and not terribly deep. It was designed just to hold my essentials moving back and forth from the studio, but it's a really fun design. And then the last one that I wanted to show you, just to give you some perspective there, that the shape really still has a lot of possibilities, right? Like this would be inspired by a rectangle, but the sides are open like this. And this particular bag is called the Lifestyle Tote. And I do have a design board for this and a tutorial for this. I may have to check on the tutorial. I know I have a design board for it, but this was a bag that I taught live on Crowdcast, and that recording is no longer available, but it is a really fabulous bag, and I will definitely consider revisiting that for a future tutorial for YouTube. But I just wanted to show you that we can have a lot of fun with this project. So don't feel like, when you're picking a simple shape that it's going to be a simple bag. It doesn't necessarily have to be. And I have this bag loaded up with my sketchbooks and watercolor and colored pencils and all that fun stuff. So it truly is a great fun project with lots of options. It has tons of pockets, all different kinds of handles on there. So really, this guy is the limit for us. I don't know if I gave you the measurements on this. Let me get those for you. It is approximately 13, I would say 13.5 inches across the base. And then this one's much taller, 15 inches tall. So that gives you some perspective on shape and size and what we're talking about for this. Now, in that intersection of function and style, we also would want to consider the purpose of the bag. So we're really working backwards on this because most people would design a bag to serve a function or a purpose. And that's how I teach my master classes, but we're reverse engineering it and we're letting the fabric inspire the design this time. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just most people have an easier time designing something if they know it's going to serve a particular purpose. So my only objective with this whole series is to get you all to jump into that designer mindset, open yourselves up to the possibilities, right? I guarantee we're going to end up with a beautiful bag, so you don't have any risk of failure with this project. So really have fun with it. If you want to just go with your instinct and pick a size and a shape based on that, I will be able to work with whatever the outcome is. Majority rules, so the more people that vote, the more power that you all have in determining the final outcome of this design. I am going to post the polls on the YouTube community page and on the Sewspire group page, and links will be down below to both of those gateways in case you're not familiar. And I will leave this poll up probably until Wednesday, but I will definitely need to know the results of the poll before I record next week's video. And next week we're going to be deciding the height and the depth, and that's going to be giving us a little better idea of the actual size of this. And then that's when we dive into the fun stuff, the design elements, the pockets. And again, we're getting more of a taste of the possibility of the function, but ultimately function, as you know, is solely determined by the user, because you could use a bag for an entirely different purpose than the designer intended. So function is very loose here, but we have full control over the shape and the size and the fabric. So let's have a good time with it. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'm eager to hear if you are learning anything, if you have any inputs on this, what you think of the fabric choice. If you have ideas for this project, feel free to dump all of that in the comments. I love hearing from you. I love reading your comments, and I am so excited to see what becomes of this community collaboration. So until next time, as always, please know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you. Have a beautiful week, everyone. Thank you for joining me.